Aloha, hey. We are back. We are back. Don't cut us no slack because we are back
No.
with Phil and Oscar on Focus on You. What? You
After,
don't like that? You don't like that?
after the torrential rains we've had in New York, New Jersey, I'm glad to be above water.
I've been giving this advice to all of my friends and family out there. Build an ark. I know a guy. I know a guy. He's got some instructions. He knows exactly what to do. If you want to know how to build an ark around your house, call 1-800 Noah. Okay.
Except all
Wait.
the instructions are in cubits. So.
Call Noah and his boys at 1-800 Noah and his boys.
So,
Uh, Please be aware that there may be animals that you don't like on board.
whose idea was it to bring two mosquitoes aboard the ark?
Oh man. Anyway, guys, we are so happy to be here because we got a wonderful, wonderful, magnificent, marveloso
Keep the M's going. Good.
guest. Yes. I am. I'm working.
Maggie.
I'm working the M's, bro. I'm working the M's. But she is a marketing media guru. I mean, you don't know what you think you know until you don't know that you don't know you know.
I wonder if she's going to give away some free stuff today. Maybe.
I think she always does, man. She always does. She has like CDs, books. You know, I don't think CDs anymore. I know. I dated myself again. But yeah, she has some great information on how you can market your business, your podcast, yourself. So all of you podcasters that we are connected with, please tap into right now. Do it. Take a break. It's 12 in the afternoon. Take a break. Take a lunch break, and listen in to what Maggie has to say. But first, before we go into that, we have a few things we got to cover. So our co-host here, Mr. Magnificent. See, I'm sticking to the M's. I'm sticking to the M's. Mr. Magnificent Oscar Capel. He's going to share a few things about the companies that he represents, and I'm going to give him the floor.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm an independent associate for Legal Shield and ID Shield. So what we do is protect individuals, families, and businesses with very affordable legal representation. 24/7, 365 in case of an emergency anywhere in the US and all of Canada is what we do. That's the way we do law now in 2024. It's not the blockbuster pay by the hour law if you don't want to use that way. We also have one of the best, according to Forbes magazine, identity theft restoration services. We have licensed private investigators that do the heavy lifting and help you restore your identity and family's identity back to pre-theft status. If you do follow me on LinkedIn, you see I post a breach per day that of what's going on in the cybersecurity world. It's nasty. There's billions and billions of records stolen and being used against us. You have to be prepared and you have to be proactive. Otherwise, it becomes very expensive and very, very stressful. The other thing we do is we help donate to Our Rescue, which provides not only rescuing children from sex trafficking, but also rehabilitation afterwards. The aftercare is incredible, and one of the most important parts. Once kids are rescued, they need to be rehabilitated to get back into society. So that is part of what I do. I can go on the whole list, but it'll take the rest of Maggie's show, so I will not do that. Mr. Phil, back to you.
Awesome, Doc. Listen. I love promoting what you do because in this day and age, it is absolutely positively like essential. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So outside of that, we got the Bishop's Corner tonight.
yes.
And what we're talking about is money matters. We got a few m- masters of investing coming on, which is, of course, Brother Roe. Guillermo. He's out of Puerto Rico, and he's living his life in Puerto Rico. Okay, his best life. I'm telling you, he's living his best life. We have another guest, 40 and Broke. He's his podcast is official 40 and Broke, but he is an investor. He started investing in his 40s, and now he's not broke
No
anymore,
longer
right?
broke.
He's no longer broke. So he's going to give us his insight and everything on that. And then we have Mr. Sam, Pastor Samuel Brown, who started investing after we did a show 2 years ago on investing, and now he is like really into it, really doing well at it. And so we figured, hey, the best thing to do is to bring somebody that uh, gained from that, right? So we're going from budgeting to investing. We're talking about that's our subject for today. It's going to be all the month of April, the entire month of April. We're going to be talking about money, 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 how to save it, how to keep it. You know, am I right, Oscar? I mean, it's harder to keep. It's harder to keep than to,
It,
you know. It's like
we've been.
it goes out more than it comes in.
So that's why I call it take home pay because you can't go out. You can just take it home. You don't have any left over. We've been sold a bill of goods on the way to make money, and basically the school system has taught us to be good employees, and how to. Nobody knows how to take their money and make more money. Somebody said, think of every dollar you have as an employee. You have the option of putting that employee to work every day or firing them by buying a Starbucks. So where is your employee dollars going? Where are your employees' dollars going? More caffeine.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All right, now we are ready. We are ready for our featured guest. I'm sure we gave you enough time to get your notebooks out. If anybody uses notebooks, get your iPad. Use your cell phone, do something. But you're going to want to take some notes, and you want to pay attention to what Miss Maggie Carey has to say. Okay, near here she comes, Miss Maggie Carey. What's up, Maggie?
Hi. How's everybody
Hi.
doing today? I am
Good, good.
so excited to be here.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Whoop,
Now,
whoop, whoop.
after this morning's 10-minute nugget that you gave us, I can't wait for Focus on You and get a lot more. I already have notes from this morning. I got a website. I got free stuff. Take it away.
Yeah, Maggie is the best at what she does. So, Maggie, for those folks that don't know you, we're going to give you 5 seconds to introduce yourself. This is the
Okay.
5 second show. Go ahead.
So I'm not going to do it in 5 seconds. It's impossible. I just wasted my 5 seconds. So I, for those of you who don't know me, I am Maggie Carey. I am a social media strategist. I educate businesses on developing an engaging social media presence so they can drive an audience of raving fans. One of the things that I love to do is to share what I know. So I teach, I help people with things like um, how they should post, when they should post, what they should post. And not only that, but how to engage in other platforms. So, did that help? I can give a little back. We'll go into a little backstory later, but that's kind of me in a nutshell what I do for work. And on top of that, I have a background in theater, so if anybody wants to talk Broadway, I am the person to call.
I've always wanted to be on Broadway. I think I can handle it. What do you think, Oscar?
People told me you should be on stage. There's one leaving in 10 minutes. Be on it. Yes.
So, what do you? Let's talk about your Broadway for a second. How did you get into Broadway
So
production?
here was the deal. When I was a kid, wanted to perform. My parents were blue collar workers. They couldn't get ballet classes, this kind of stuff. They couldn't afford that. So I did whatever I could for free. So I performed in every school play. I did whatever I could to learn the craft. And I did a lot community theater. I took some classes as I got older, and in 2017, 10 days before, I was in a show called 1776. It was color and gender blind. So people were women, people were people of color playing old white men. It worked. And 1776 is about the writing of the Declaration of Independence. It's a musical, and it's a play with music. Let's put it that way. And in 2017, I was in the show as one of the minor characters. And 10 days before show, I got reached out by the director who said, "We're not happy with the lead. She's not, she doesn't have her lines down. She doesn't have her blocking. I'm nervous. Can you, just in case she quits, can you study the 10 days before show?
I like
Can you
that.
study the role
Just in case she quits.
just in case she quits?" Well, long story short, very long story short, she left the production. I stepped in. I had 5 days to learn the role and ended up winning the regional performer of the decade from Broadway World. It
Wow.
was an amazing experience. It's one of those things, and I share this not just because, like, look, it's theater, right? Like, I performed off Broadway. I've never been on Broadway, but the thing is that when you're given an opportunity, you have that comes in once in a lifetime. How many times is a 50 some odd year old woman going to get the opportunity to play John Adams in a musical? When is that going to happen? Right. So it was one of my bucket list things. It was so funny. My daughter pulled up from, like, she was in high school. So she, like, years before, and she had said, what would be your ideal show and part? And that was it. And then, you put it out to the universe and things happen. This is the thing. When you're given an opportunity for business, take it. Don't wait,
Mhm.
because you wait, that opportunity may come and go. And I'm not saying say yes to everything. Say yes to
No.
the things that are going to drive your business forward.
You know what? I love what you just said about that because that's really how I've lived in a sense where things happen. Oscar would tell you, we started doing this and we started meeting people, and the more we got involved, the more people we met, and the more things we started doing until, we're doing something right now that I feel like so blessed. I feel so honored to be the one to carry the torch on this because, and our team, of course. I mean, I met Oscar maybe 3 weeks after I really started doing this, was tripping, and Mona introduced us to each other, and our connection was literally immediate.
Yeah.
I mean, we it was like love at first sight. It does exist, okay? Because we became brothers like right away.
We had an
Started
instant romance there going.
Aw.
instant. I mean, we started. I mean, it was just amazing, amazing. So, and there's so many people I've met like that. Even you, Maggie. We connected like right away. Boom,
Yeah.
through Oscar, right? So
And
I think
so
you're right.
you're surrounding yourself by these people who get you, right? Who
Hmm.
support you, who lift you up. That old phrase, rising tides raise all ships,
Ships,
right?
right? Hmm.
So when we do things like this, and look, I'm one of those people. I've got to help people. I cannot not help somebody. So I have to help people. Like, it is ingrained in my childhood. We helped anybody in need. Sometimes when we could have been the person in need, but we helped
Hmm.
other people. And it's one of the reasons why I love what I do, because I'm meeting people who have the same, they're givers.
Hmm.
That Go Giver, one of my favorite books, right? it, it blends our lives together. Like, it's more than just running a business. Isn't it cool that you can run a business, give to people, and be successful at the same time? It's beautiful.
Yeah, and then one of
Absolutely.
the things that I wrote is luck is when opportunity and preparedness meet. So you said you had that opportunity. I was like, oh, she was so lucky. No, you were prepared for it.
Well,
So
look,
if you had not studied, if you had not put that out to the universe and say, "Hey, Maggie, you want to play Adams?" You're like, "No." Boom, that opportunity's gone
well,
because you
you
were
have to
prepared.
remember, like this rehearsal process was a 4 month rehearsal process. Usually shows are only 2 months in the community theater world. For 4 months, the 3 months prior to, I showed up, I did my work, I had my lines down, I had my blocking down, my songs, I had my part, I was a, they put me in as a tenor because I have a very low voice. So it was very fun. Yeah, I was sang in a church choir once, and the instructor said to me, "This is the first time I've ever had a pregnant tenor before." But that being said, right, like you're given the opportunity because you showed that you were capable. Look, he didn't just pick me. He knew I'd be able to do it. He knew my resume. He knew I knew myself. And look, my family at the time I was working a job, I was like, guys, you are not going to see me until it's on stage. So I know I'm not talking social media. We got to get into social media because
Let's do it.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Like, you know what? You are such a multi-dimensional person that we could interview you for 3 years straight and we'd still have more information we need to get.
oh, you're
So
so fun.
that's why we're going. That's why we keep having you on, Maggie. We want more. We
Well,
want more. We want more. Okay, so let's transition into social media, right? You started this how long ago?
so let's let's say 5 years ago.
Hmm.
Master at Media is 5 years old, and I started it as sort of like a fractional CIO. I'd come in, anything technology I could handle. I've got 4 decades of experience in technology. I have seen things come and go, and the consistent thing about technology is it's ever changing, and things you learned 40 years ago are not what you're learning now, right? So there's always this evolving knowledge.
Hmm.
Well, what I struggled with in trying to get the word out about my business. And I have a picture I can show you. I keep this on my desktop. I have a picture of me working, trying to get promos out for Black Friday. It was the day before Thanksgiving. I was way late. I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do, how to put, and I'm putting together what I'm going to sell for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, and how am I going to promote my business? And I know social media is the thing I need to do. And let me tell you something. I spent hours doing this.
Hmm.
And you want to know my result? Nothing. I got nothing out of all that work. And I realized now maybe I got exposure, maybe I got brand recognition, right? But I got
Hmm.
not one sale, not one. And I worked so hard and sacrificed my family time. My kids were home from school.
Hmm. Hmm.
How do you make social media work? And that was my challenge. And that was 2019. So I took so much time learning how can I make social media work for me? There's got to be a better way. I used to research software applications. So I started researching things and found there wasn't one tool and there
Hmm.
wasn't one strategy because it's not a cookie cutter world with social media. It's not a one size fits all.
Hmm.
We have to pull in bits and pieces from different areas. That's when everything started, all the puzzle pieces fit together. I
Hmm.
zoned in on social. It was the thing I struggled with. I knew it had to be the way people, small businesses can compete with the big guys because we're on the same platforms. Nike is on the same platform as the shoe store right around the corner. So how are you going to stand out on social media? And that's where I came in and I started researching everything. And I became look, when you talk about, oh, I'm a social media expert,
Hmm.
okay, that has 4 years experience in social media, it's like being an accountant with 80 years experience. you you're 4 years into this that I eat, drink, and sleep social media. I go in and for business, right? When you're talking about social media, we're not talking about posting your favorite cup of coffee, right?
Hmm.
We're talking about how do you promote yourself on your business. One of the biggest questions I get is, what platform should I be on? How many
Hmm.
times a day do I post? When do I, when do I post? Where do I post? How do I post? Right? All of those, the who, what, where, when, and hows, right? So that's where I also started realizing I can do this for other people,
Hmm.
but I can also teach it. And that's kind of where I've changed my focus
Hmm.
is I still do our done for you services and we help people from concept to completion. We do everything. But I also provide the software to teach them how to
How
do
to
it.
do it. You know, thank you for telling the story because I try to explain to people the same as myself. I started out in high school. When I went to high school for graphic communication slash graphic design, this was when IBM computers were eh,
Mainframe.
yes, right. IBM was the giant, right? Macintosh came out with this little itty bitty design computer, and all you could do was draw stickmen with it, because that's all I did with it, right?
I remember the fights we used to have in the computer lab over the amber screen because it was a screen that didn't have green text.
Right.
You remember those days?
Oh my god! So I was saying, when you see the evolution of from that to what we can do now, I mean, that's where you feel like this is a gifted moment because stuff that we used to take hours to create, I mean, you're sitting there and you have to draw it out and then you scan it in and then you're adding the colors and you don't have to do any of that anymore.
Yeah.
It's all mainstream. It's all streamlined, right?
And
And,
I would love
yeah,
for you to
and
talk about what the differences are between marketing, because we're talking about social media marketing, right?
yes.
Marketing then and marketing now, because it's not like placing ads in USA Today anymore.
No. Remember the penny saver for local businesses?
yes,
I don't even know if it's still around. My husband used to
I
work for them when we
doubt
were
it.
in college. Like you you have to look at look, the core of every single there are two things you need to know. You
Hmm.
need to know who your target audience is and you need to know what their problem is. Did you hear anything that said you need to tell them what you do? No.
No.
You need
No.
to know who they are and you need to know what their problem is. Then you can figure out how to help them. That's the core, in my opinion, of marketing. Look, I don't have a
Hmm.
marketing degree. I have a perform. I I perform, and I've got a computer science degree, right? And then I've
Hmm.
learned everything else, and you can too, right? Like this is not something that, and technology is moving so fast and furious. We talked about AI this morning, right?
Hmm.
It's moving so fast and furious that we're struggling to keep up with it. I've got a background in IT, and I'm telling you, things are going over my head. This
Wow.
is so fast, and
Mhm.
I'm keeping up with what's going on in the social media world. That's my job 24/7, right? Like I'm always keeping up with the news and technology, right? The average person isn't. You need to find people. So with marketing, then it was all about placement in advertising. You
Mhm.
locally, you would network, right? You go to in-person events. There was none of this online Zoom stuff, right? You would try to get into magazines. You would send out press releases and try to get in the newspaper. I mean, even the newspapers are going from the Sunday newspaper like this. You don't even get coupons in the paper anymore, right? Think
Nope.
about it.
Mhm.
Advertise People laugh at the coupon cutters, right? Don't. They're smart people. But listen, your coupons are now digital.
That's
People
it.
have to embrace technology. If even if you're afraid of it, if you're
Mhm.
afraid of it, find somebody who isn't and get them to help you. Yeah, and I'm being very forceful, which is usually not my mode. But when I get so passionate about this, because people are thinking they're going to use the old methods of connecting with people and they're going to get the same results. They're not. AI is being used by a third of the population, whether they realize it or not. In a few short years, in 4 years, it's estimated that 66, two thirds 66%, two-thirds of the population will be using AI in some way or shape or form in 4 years. Almost all of the majority of the world of the United States, people in the
Hmm.
US are going to be using AI. What does that mean for your business? So in
Hmm.
marketing, right? People are doing things easier and faster because they're getting the AI to do the grunt work. And we're coming in as the creative genius and taking that AI and modifying it. So when we're looking at marketing right now, it has to be multifaceted. We have to use, if you want to compete and stay competitive and draw people in, you need to embrace AI. You need to embrace technology, whether you're using Canva, social media, whether you're, and still like an online networking, right? And still network in person. Because here's the thing, we're adding more layers. You still look, we met because we met through a networking organization, right? We didn't meet because you found me on social media. Social
Right.
media is part of your brand is your foundation, right? Social media is a component, right? Your brand is has to reflect who you are, and you've got to reflect that on your social media. The younger generation who will be your future clients are looking at your social media. They go there before they go to your website.
You
Back in the
you
day, our website was the way we thought, that's how we drew people in, right?
Hmm.
Now the website is sort of like a placeholder. It's where we send people. People find us, but yeah, oh, it's a tough world out there.
now you
And
I
you
think
did
that's
mention
amazing. Go
you
ahead,
did mention
Oscar.
something this morning because you said how important AI is and how it's evolving. You made an incredible point this morning that I didn't realize. You said that there are new throttles now on using AI.
yes,
So, and
Hmm.
that this is the hearing it from you this morning was the first time I heard about it, and I think a lot of people don't know what is going on. Like, oh yeah, I'm just going to use AI and write everything I'm going to do, and I can walk away and have my coffee.
mm, no,
What?
and yeah, tons of new regulate, and they're coming out daily. It's why I used to teach like an AI course, right? And now I'm like, when I do the AI course, I say, what I am telling you right now is what's current right now. They change the hour we're talking, it may change. Like look at TikTok. Look at TikTok right now. TikTok, what their Congress has approved
Hmm.
that they're going to be requesting that TikTok be pulled out of the Play Store, Google Play Store, and what's the iPhone store? I'm sorry, I don't have it on the
Apple
phone.
Apple Store.
Apple
Apple
Store.
Store. Hmm.
So that's it now has to go to the Senate. And I don't want to talk politics because I hate politics, but
Hmm.
this affects social media.
And that's
So here's a tip. This is a big one. This is one of those mic drop moments, guys. If you have videos, yes, Lena, if you have videos on TikTok, download them now. If you have content on TikTok, download it. You never want to leave. Those are valuable nuggets for your marketing. Like it's your marketing. A lot of people just, I'm going to post on platform bit. And what happens? Facebook went down.
hmm.
When Facebook went down, I thought I got hacked,
Me too.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of people did. We were not alone. So um, I sent out an email to my newsletter list. And if you go to masteritmedia.com, wait a couple of seconds, my little auto pop up comes up and you can sign up for one of our free things that'll add you to our newsletter list,
Thank you.
and give you a great ebook along with it. But here's the thing, that newsletter list, everyone on my newsletter list got an email that said Meta is down because it was Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram.
Hmm.
And I said, don't worry, because people were like trying to change their passwords and they thought they got hacked and they were freaking out. What I did was when Facebook came back up and everything came back up, I sent out an email to a link to my YouTube channel, which is Master It Media, youtube.com/at Master It Media. They have on my channel is how to download your Facebook data. Every most I'm going to say most major platforms have a way for you to download your content. Why do you want to do that? It's all your marketing. If TikTok were to disappear, what would happen? there are some people who their only business is
It's through
through that
TikTok.
platform.
Hmm.
So my suggestion with social media is it's your communication tool. The communication goes both ways. Download your data and make sure that you are doing things to pull those people off platform and get them into your
Hmm.
email list, because
Hmm.
you, just like I did right now, right? I'm going to go to my website, sign up for my email list. I'm going to give you value. The value is going to be when stuff happens, you're going to know because Maggie's going to tell you, right?
It's Maggie, I'd love for you to talk about Meta because you mentioned it. The shift that Facebook is making, as far as how you can function in their space.
Hmm.
Talk a little bit more about that.
So
I,
Meta,
and I
yeah,
know that, and I know that a lot of the changes they're making is because of the kind of pressure they're getting from Congress, right? But let us know a little bit more about that. Talk a little bit more about
yeah, there's a lot going on. Look, they're trying, just like we are,
that. Hmm.
they need to stay competitive. So when TikTok came out the gate, right, and they started seeing this new kid on the block was getting a lot of attention and pulling people over there. Now, everybody says, "Oh, it's for tweens, it's for kids, it's for..." Well, guess what? Those kids shop. Those kids bug their parents for stuff.
Hmm.
Those kids are your future clients. So keep that in mind. So Meta knew, they were smart enough to know, okay, so look, Instagram Reels came out, like YouTube jumped on the bandwagon, they have YouTube Shorts, right? So
Hmm.
what happens is Meta is they're looking at their bottom line, right? So they're always pushing ads, they're always pushing
Always.
boosting a post, right? Um, if you use their posting tool in their business suite, right? The minute you post something, it's like, hey, this would be a great boost. This would be a great ad. Yeah, stop trying to suck money out of my pocket, please. Right. So but that's, look, we use this platform for free, right? They have to make money somehow to support it.
Hmm.
Um, so Meta is looking at things like, now, and then you have tech. I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place. You have technology like the iPhone that's now restricting how they can pull information from you. Now, Oscar talks about this all the time, right?
Hmm.
Cybersecurity and protecting your online identity, right? There's so much identity theft out there. You have to have, like, I have that. Because um, ID Shield has this thing. Well, it will even help you search on the dark web for your,
For your
information, right?
information,
Oscar,
right?
I'm right on that,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
And this is where when we look at things like a social media platform, you have to be protective of your identity. This is why, people put their birth, hey, I'm 58 today. Guess what? I now know your birth date. I don't know what to tell you, but there we go. And Meta is changing. There are
Hmm.
things that they will, and I don't want to speak too much because it really does change every time we turn around. But
Hmm.
there are things that they're doing that are affecting this algorithm, right? And I
Hmm.
talk about the algorithm. It is a mystery. Every platform has an algorithm. LinkedIn is the one, in my personal opinion, that does the best job. They have something called the social selling index,
Hmm.
and you can actually see what you're good at and what you need to improve.
Hmm.
So, LinkedIn, my favorite platform because it wants
Mine.
people. Meta, they keep it. You have to get the attention in that first hour you post.
Right.
If you don't reply to people, you get dinged, right? It's going to push you down. So you need something to keep you up. That's why when I was looking for a posting tool, I wanted one that also had the ability to communicate. So I get notified when somebody messages me, when somebody comments on a post. Why?
Hmm.
Because every time I go into Facebook or Instagram, I'm scrolling through and there's a little kitty. Oh, look at the kitten. It's so cute. And then I get all sidetracked and I'm down the rabbit hole of looking at babies and kittens and dogs. And
And puppies.
yeah, we've all been there, right? Like, I'm preaching to the choir here, right?
Yes, yes. We Oscar and I always talk about our attention span. So Facebook is not our friend. Okay, we go in there and it's like, Oh, shiny.
Yeah.
Well,
what's the,
Instagram
what's
is
this all
worse. They're
about?
like 15-second, 20-second videos, and just like dopamine hits, scrolling forever and ever.
And so, but one of the things that I teach in a lot of my classes is something what I call the human algorithm. And that's how you humanize your engagement in the social media to get more exposure. So the more you engage in the platform, the more it will reward you. So when I hear people saying, I'm not getting new followers, I'm like, well, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I'm posting like 5 times a day. I'm like, okay. So
Hmm.
are people commenting? And they're like, yeah. Like, are you replying? And they're like, no. Like, it's like going up to somebody saying, hi, how are you doing? And before they answer, you turn around and walk away. So remember, remember those things, right? It's a two-way street, communication, right?
Hmm.
Networking with people, building the relationship. When you start seeing people continually liking and commenting on your posts, guess
Hmm.
what? Go into the DMs. Try to encourage them to pull out to get onto your newsletter list, provide valuable information. So Meta is really trying to reward people who are doing insanely great content wise,
Hmm.
engagement wise. We don't have the hours in our day as business owners and entrepreneurs to do all of this. Now, some people hire people to do engagement. They have bots that do this.
Hmm.
My personal opinion is it's going to become more and more prevalent. People are going to I be the human is going to understand that this is a bot.
Hmm.
So how do you maintain that human algorithm? It's by being you and maybe using AI to help you find the people, but replying to them, getting them on a call, offering a free strategy session or a free 15-minute consult or an audit, right? How are you getting these people to connect with you? Unless you're doing one of these businesses where you onboard 80 people a day, you're probably not listening to this podcast then.
You don't have time, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's where communicating online, engaging in other people's platforms, supporting other people, basically you're promoting yourself on their platform, on their social media feed. So if I go to, Oscar's page and I start commenting on whatever his feed is, like say, take LinkedIn for example. If I start commenting on his stuff, my photo comes up, my name comes up, and the first 60 characters of my description of who I am shows up. So then people will be scrolling through Oscar's comment. And I'm just not saying, hey, oh, great point, Oscar. I'm saying, Oscar, I think what you said about cybersecurity is so real. I was learning about this back in 1990 about how the internet was going, or, the technology was going to affect us personally. And you're spot on. Now, what I'm doing is I'm supporting Oscar. I'm also sharing a little bit about my experience, doing a little shameless self promotion that, yeah, I was learning about this, right? I've got decades of experience. I'm not a new kid on the block by any way, shape, or form, but I'm also in the moment. So you're giving that kind of, it's Oscar's happy he's getting, and, he's getting a comment, which will help him. I'm getting exposure, so it's helping me. LinkedIn is thrilled because people are active. It's a win-win for everybody.
That's the thing right there is like how do we create that win-win through our social media marketing. And I find out that a lot of people are still kind of struggling with that, primarily because of the differences between the platforms and how you engage with each platform. So sometimes we try to take what we do on Facebook and translate that to Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitch, all of them, and say, yeah, I'm marketing my business and I'm not getting any response because all these different platforms are like personalities,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
How you engage with them is how they respond to you, right?
So one of the things, and it's so cool you brought this up. One of the things that I share, my team and I worked on this massive chart that lists the 8 major platforms and what their pros are, their cons are, their stats, things like that. This one page sheet, it was, if you go to painlessposting.com slash post dash help, and we can put that in the chat if you want. I can give that to you and do that. But it gives you a whole bunch of bonus materials that gets you on my email list, but also gives you um, my ebook on stellar social media posts, my Master It toolkit that has a whole bunch of tools you can use, including AI, my social media platform summary, which is this massive sheet that gives you the pros and cons of each platform to determine which one's the best, and then my social media posting ideas to combat writer's block. So all of these, and this was something like, talk about promotion, right? I am giving such extreme value for free. People are going to be like, well, that's a no brainer. Let me sign up for that. Right. And you can
Hmm.
only get it by coming to one of my classes or one of my presentations, like here online, or, this morning when we were at the Power Up breakfast, right? Whenever I present, I'm giving away something for free to get people on my mailing list. Yes, I'm encouraging them to follow me on my socials, of course, because I always give tips and tricks on my socials. But you need to kind of remember that when you're marketing your business, again, remember when we first started this conversation, what are the
Hmm.
two things you need to know? Who you're talking to, who your ideal audience is, and what is the problem that they have,
Hmm.
so that we can help them. And this, I know these tools can help you with getting um, getting your social media done
And
easier by
what
yourself.
is your that QR code? What will people see at that QR code?
So this QR code that's up here, that's my website. The other one, I don't know, guys, if I can share my screen or not. I can pull up
Yes, you
the other one.
can. You can.
I can. So let me pull up that one. I'm going to have to do. Technology is our friend, and I don't see the share screen button.
Oh, this is a tough one
It's
on,
in the
on
it's
your
in the
end.
middle, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll share it on the in the
Oh, there it is.
description.
In,
Yeah.
in
I had
post
the
production.
chat open, so it didn't. Here you go. So this is the items that you get, and this is the QR code right there. And if you go to painlessposting.com slash post dash help, it will give you all of those things along with a whole bunch of really great tips to get you going.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maggie. That was amazing. So what is the one thing you want our listeners to take away today from our conversation?
Uh, Make sure that when you're talking to your people, that giving them answers to problems that they have, because they will start to see you as a resource and they will continue to follow you. I want to make sure that you remember, nobody, people can look at your social media and they can take your ideas and they can repurpose them and republish them, but they can't replace you.
Right.
So I get that a lot with painless posting. It's like, what does painless posting have that Hootsuite doesn't have? Hootsuite doesn't have me. Hootsuite can't help you the way I can help you, right? And that may sound egotistical, but that's the way you need to look at yourself, is that you've got knowledge and you really want to help people. So how do you make that happen in your social? So give of yourself, and you will receive the rewards. I promise you, it has worked for me. I get more speaking engagements than I can tell you. This is because I always provide extreme value. When New York Public Library gets it can get I get over 280 people. I'm one of their most popular presenters. They get hundreds of people to attend my workshops, right? Because they know I give value. I'm honored to be a speaker there. But I also remember, this is my business.
Right.
So you need to promote yourself, but also give of self.
One of the things we always say is save yourself time and money and hire an expert. The way I'm seeing how marketing and AI and social media is changing and all of this stuff, the way it just came to me like there's a tsunami coming. So either Maggie's going to help you ride that wave on a good board, or you're going to get caught in that undertow and never be seen again. So it's it's
Absolutely.
it's that fine a line that's like, I can do this myself. No, it's going to take so
It's
long to dig
moving too
out.
fast. Look, guys, I don't do my own taxes. There's a reason because I stink at it.
Maggie,
No,
it was great. It was great. Fantastic. We are out of time. I want to just thank everyone for participating. Those of you who are watching on Instagram, I love you guys. Share, like, tell your buddies about what we do on Focus on You. Those of you who are watching on YouTube and all the other platforms that we're broadcasting through, this will be posted on our Roku and Amazon platform as well. So, thank you, Maggie, again. Visit
thank you.
masteritmedia.com and we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.